Hi everyone. In today's reading lesson, we are going to have a go at clarifying vocabulary again, like we did last week. So today's lesson is going to be really similar to the last reading lesson we did, where we read the text, we find the words, and then we have a go at thinking about what they mean. So the first thing we're going to do is read the text again. Then we're going to talk about some strategies that we can use to figure out what a word means, and then we're going to have a go at doing some clarifying ourselves. I'm going to read the text for you now, and you can listen to the story as well up to Nobody Knew About Alan's False Teeth, so you can listen to it being read on the YouTube link as well if you want to. Alan would start each day polishing his scales, sharpening his nails, and brushing each of his big, scary teeth for at least 10 minutes at a time. And after practicing his frightening faces in the mirror, he'd sneak into the jungle for his morning round of scaring. Alan went snap, snap, and grr, grr. He said things like, "I'm big scary Alan, fear my razor-sharp teeth." He made the frogs leap off their lily pads, the monkeys tumble from the trees, and the parrots screech in terrible terror. After a long day of scaring the jungle animals, Alan would head back home to the swamp, relax, finish the crossword in the Jungle Times, and take out his false teeth. Nobody knew about Alan's false teeth. Okay, so today we are clarifying vocabulary. We are going to talk about what some of the words mean again. We're going to look at different words today. And today I think these are the main 3 strategies that you might need to use to work out what the words that I've given you mean. So the first one that we often use to figure out what a word means is we can read the sentence for clues, because we don't always need to know what a word means in order to understand what it means. Sometimes we can read the sentence that it's in, we can make a picture in our head of what's happening, and from that we can infer, we can have a sensible guess about what that word means. And usually in year 1, that's the number 1 strategy that we like to use, because it doesn't matter if we don't have an exact dictionary definition in our head of what that word means. We can have a sensible guess of what it pretty much means. Usually that helps us understand the text well enough. The second most common strategy that we might use in year 1 is using our prior knowledge. That means thinking about what we already know and using that to have a sensible guess. So if the text is about elephants and we don't know what one of the words means, we could use what we already know about elephants to maybe have a sensible guess. The word probably isn't going to mean something like tiny or small when it's to do with an elephant, because elephants are really big, things like that. So we can have a sensible guess at sort of what is going on by using our prior knowledge about whatever we're reading about. And the third strategy that we could use if we're really not sure is looking it up. You could either use a dictionary or you could use Google if you wanted to, and you just type in the word and it will come up with what the word means. Or you find the word in the dictionary by using alphabetical order, and then you find out what the word means. But often we don't need to do that, because often we can pretty much work out what a word means from having a sensible guess by either reading the sentence that it's in and having a sensible guess, or thinking about what we already know and having a sensible guess. So I think most of the words today we will be able to use the first one or the second one. You might need to look up 1 or 2 if you're really not sure. So these are the words I would like you to have a go at clarifying today. They are the words tumble, razor, leap, lily pad, screech, swamp, and false. So the way we are going to clarify them is we're going to pick them one at a time. We're going to find them in the text. I'm going to highlight them in green because in class that's what we would be doing if we were clarifying. Then we're going to read the sentence that that the word is in and see if we can figure it out from there. We're going to think about our prior knowledge and see if we can use that to figure it out. And if we can't do either of those 2 things, then we might need to look it up. So the first word is tumble. It starts with a T, then a U, then an M. So I'm going to get my green highlighter to clarify. That one's yellow. I need green. But don't worry if you haven't got a green highlighter. You can underline them. You can point to them. Anything is absolutely fine. And I'm going to scan for a word that begins with a T for tumble, but then a U after it. And I I haven't found any yet that start with a T and then a U. There's a T, teeth to eeth with T. I'm looking for a T and then a U. Okay, this word has a T and then a U. Tumble. That one says tumble. That's the word I'm looking for, so I'm going to highlight that in green. Super. Now I found it. I am going to read the sentence. He made the frogs leap off their lily pads, the monkeys tumble from the trees, and the parrots screech in terrible terror. Okay, so from that sentence, I can see that all the animals are feeling really scared. So when I'm scared, I might want to run away, maybe, or I might be really shocked, and I might do something a bit silly because I'm so panicked and trying to run away. So the monkeys are tumbling from the trees. So they were up in the trees, and now they're not in the trees anymore because they're tumbling from the trees. They're coming out of the trees. So I can sort of infer, even if I don't know what the word tumble means, that the monkeys are coming out of the trees. And because they're scared, I think they're falling out of the trees because they're having such a panic. Usually monkeys are really good at jumping from tree to tree, but they're so scared they've lost their ability to hang on and jump from tree to tree, and they're just falling out the trees because they're panicking so much. So I think the word tumble, I am going to write that it means fall, because I think the monkeys are tumbling from the trees. They are falling out of the trees because they're so scared and they're panicking so much. So I have inferred there that tumble means fall. And I know that I've got that one right, but even if you don't write the exact right definition, that's absolutely fine. So you aren't writing a dictionary definition today, just like last time. You are telling me what you think that word means, what you take from this text as to what that word means. So don't worry if you haven't got an exact definition, just put it into your own words. The next one is the word razor. So we are going to do the same thing again. We are going to find it. It starts with an R and an A. So a word that starts with an R there, but then doesn't have an A afterwards. There it is, razor. I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to read this sentence. Fear my razor sharp teeth. And I'm going to think about what that word razor might mean. So there is a clue there. It definitely means something to do with sharp. So if you wanted to clarify the word razor as something sharp, that would be absolutely fine. Like razor and sharp are really, really similar. So if you want to think that razor means sharp, that's absolutely fine. If you know about the fact that a razor is a kind of tool and you want to write a sharp tool, that is also absolutely fine. So you're writing for me what you think these words mean. It doesn't have to be an exact definition. You read the sentence that the word is in first and see if you get any clues from the sentence. You might want to use your prior knowledge, especially for lily pad, if you've ever heard of a lily pad before, or if you know anything about frogs, or if you've read any books about frogs before, that might help you know what a lily pad is. And if you can't infer it from the sentence, you haven't really ever heard the word before, so you can't use your prior knowledge, then it's time probably to look it up. I hope you have fun clarifying today's words. There is a list of them there, and I will put the story of Alan's Big Scary Teeth up for you to listen to as well.